Hello there, my fellow laptop and video game aficionados. I got something very different for you today, but I hope it's still something you will find informative or entertaining. And in a perfect world, it will be both. I was thinking about a way to combine our usual laptop reviews and testing with a more interactive and casual approach to new game releases. And with this video, I will try a new format. So please let me know in the end what you think. And if there's anything you would like us to improve for the next time, sound off in the comments below. So for today I captured some gameplay footage for Arc Raiders, a new extraction shooter you might have already heard about. And my laptop choice for today is the Aorus Master 18, and since a mobile RTX 5090 is not quite crazy enough for me, I added an external desktop 5090 via Thunderbolt 5. And stay tuned, our full review for that one is coming soon, by the way. So the idea will be, for the future, to simply record some gameplay footage and go through the different settings and graphic options, while at the same time giving you some first impressions for the game in question itself. And if you want a more general overview about how Arc Raiders may run on your hardware, make sure to check out our performance article on the website. And with all of that out of the way, let's get into it. Oh, and before I forget, Sony also sent over their latest flagship gaming headset as well, so this is basically my mic test run for these. So what are we thinking about the quality here? You know the drill, sound off below. Alright good people, welcome to Arc Raiders, and what I want to start with is to walk you through the different setting levels, so you know what to expect visually and when it comes to FPS numbers and the differences. So that would be low, captured in 4K, and as you can see I opened present mode for you, so you have a bunch of metrics at your disposal. Bringing things up to medium actually improves especially the shadows quite a bit, and also the geometry just gets a lot more detail, and I think that actually looks pretty alright without too much of a performance difference. High adds on that with even more detail in the vegetation, and again it costs you about 10 FPS going from medium to high. Epic costs you another 10 FPS without it being a dramatic difference, and switching on RTX Global Illumination gives you that subtle increase in realism when it comes to lighting, but then again, if you're struggling with reaching 60 FPS, I would just recommend staying with Epic. But since we're rocking a 5090 here, it's not really a problem, and even without the help of DLSS and all of that sort of things, it handles the game quite nicely and it stays consistently above 70 FPS. And keep in mind I'm also doing a screen recording here, so the actual FPS numbers are about 5 to 10 FPS more than what you can see on the screen here. So yeah, that would be the different setting levels, and generally I think the differences are pretty minor. And this is great news, especially if you're rocking slower hardware and do not have access to a desktop RTX 5090. So in general, I haven't played that much of Arc Raiders yet. I think I have like 3.5 hours in the game so far, but it's very intriguing. I really like the overall industrial setting and the post-apocalyptic theme here. And the whole extraction mechanics aren't as super sweaty as in something like Escape from Tarkov, for example. So it's very beginner-friendly and not as unforgiving, I would say. And I also must admit I like the overall graphics quality quite well. It's not one of the best looking games of 2025, but it's definitely a very pretty game. And the whole environment has just a lot of detail. And there's just so much happening, especially with the lighting and everything. Of course, when it comes to this being an extraction shooter where you could easily lose everything you're carrying in an instant, like the sense of, I don't know, you're just constantly looking over your shoulder, expecting somebody to shoot at you, and you also have the general threat of the arcs flying around. So it's super exciting, but also very stressful, especially if you're carrying a lot of very valuable loot, which fortunately I don't have yet. But still, I can definitely see this getting even more hectic once you progress in the game a little bit more. Alright, it's about time to change settings again, and I wanted to see what DLSS can bring to the table and switched it to its quality mode. And as you can see, you once again gain back about 10 to 15 FPS, which is definitely a very nice boost in performance, especially considering it doesn't have a real impact in image quality. Performance also seems to be very stable, so I haven't noticed any weirdness or any lag spikes or that sort of thing or any stuttering. So it's definitely a very smooth experience. And I know, again, we are talking about the desktop 5090 here, but I mean, this is running via Thunderbolt 5 and it's still been a very great experience so far. And again, definitely stay tuned for a full review for that combination. It's going to be a very interesting one. The overall sound design is also really something that stands out with Arc Raiders. I mean, you can hear the raindrops falling and you can hear shots fired in the distance, and everything you do seems to be extremely loud, and you're just constantly afraid that someone might catch you red-handed while you're breaching something or looting a container and that sort of thing. So with everything you're doing that makes any kind of noise, I'm just like frantically looking around to make sure I'm not getting shot in the back by another raider.
Head home at the central swamp lift.
And you will see this in our final review of the eGPU with the Aorus Master 18, but I'm having this set up with a 4K 240Hz OLED. So I switched on MFG to see if I can get anywhere close to the native refresh rate of this monitor. And as you can see, I can. Almost. And I know this will not be everyone's cup of tea, but for me personally, in this kind of game, it just felt great. And getting like 200 FPS at maxed out settings in a new game in 2025 is still something I can hardly wrap my head around. So even with 4x multi-frame generation, I didn't feel any form of latency issues, and even visually there were no artifacts. But then again, I wasn't really looking for them, which I think translates quite well to how people would actually play the game. So this is definitely how I will play the game from now on, at least when using this particular setup. And if there's any other hardware combination or any other laptop you would like to see in a similar video, please sound off in the comments below. I'm happy to oblige if this is a format you guys are actually interested in. So I'm slowly making my way to my designated extraction spot, carefully avoiding any form of conflict since I just wanted to have a full run for this video. So forgive me if it's not like the most interesting form of gameplay. And you should definitely not underestimate these guys, since they can give you a really hard time, especially with the loot you're starting out with. I really can't wait to progress in the game a little bit more to see what you have available once you upgrade your weapons, your equipment and all that sort of stuff. And if you're already a little bit deeper into the game, please feel free to leave your tips and tricks in the comments below. I would definitely appreciate it, and I'm pretty sure others would do as well. So this is what an extraction point in our creators looks like, and all you have to do now is call the elevator, survive until it gets there, and you're good to go home. And all the stuff you found in the world is yours to keep forever or until you use it. Alright good people, that should already be it for today. I know this has just been a pretty basic overview of what to expect for the kind of performance figures you can expect on laptops with Arc Raiders. But as I said in the beginning, you can always check out our written article about the new game on our website for a much bigger overall picture. In general, I think it's a ton of fun, looks absolutely fantastic, and presents itself well optimized, which is unfortunately not something you can say about some of the other big releases we got in 2025 so far. Again, let me know if you plan to jump into the game or if you've already played it, and maybe leave your performance figures with the hardware you're using in the comments. It might help some folks get a sense of what they can expect. I'm also very eager to read what you think of this format in general, and if you have any suggestions to improve it, do not hesitate to let me know. Thanks a ton for watching, please leave your like and sub on your way out. My name is Alex, you have been absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Take care.